Deep in the heart of Hancock County, Georgia, where dirt roads wind through pine forests and history runs as deep as the roots of ancient oaks, stands a forgotten house that tells a powerful story of the civil rights movement. Today, we're exploring a property that played a crucial role in Hancock County's fight for equality in the 1970s. Hancock County holds a special place in civil rights history. In the 1970s, this predominantly black county became a focal point for the ongoing struggle for equality, particularly in voting rights and educational reform. This was a time when black citizens were finally getting political control of local institutions after decades of systematic disenfranchisement. The 1970s marked a turning point for Hancock County. Black residents, who made up over 80% of the population, began to secure positions of power in local government and school boards for the first time since the Reconstruction. But this progress came at a price, as white resistance often manifested in economic retaliation and intimidation.
Are you afraid that this might come down to true racial warfare?
Yes, I really am.
Are you prepared for it?
How do you get prepared for a thing like that? How do you prepare for it? They have 8-1.
But one man, John McCawn, strove to make a difference.
84, take one.
Mr. McCown, what do you want?
The thing that I'd like to see most of all, I suppose, is that I'd like to see a real exhibit, a model of a community that exists within this country where black and white can walk together without being fear of being intimidated, without being fearful of being molested or fearful of the loss of their lives. We often hear people philosophizing, writing books about what community organization ought to be about. But no one has ever gone out to try to create the model community that other areas could use as examples to better their own economic condition and social condition.
Born in South Carolina, McAllen was both charismatic and forceful, and Hancock County and its white power structure had never seen anything like him before. He had been financially broke when he drove into the county of Sparta in 1966, but he was perceptive to the county's opportunities. He aligned himself with the Georgia's Republican Party, then the underdog in state politics, and led a successful voter registration drives. He got powerful support, or at least non-interference, from the GOP White House administration of President Nixon. He also attracted federal money as well as grants from progressive foundations. McCown inspired black political clout in the county, created jobs, and quietly built a business empire that included a concrete block plant, a pallet plant, catfish farm, and a small airline and even a nightclub. His successes began to attract attention, however, and the Atlanta Constitution began to investigate McCown's finances. In 1974, it reported its findings this way. Now, after nearly 8 years and several $1 million from the federal government and tax-exempt foundations, Hancock County is still poor, but John McCown is not. Questions arose and the grant money began to dry up. McCown was also striking tax obligations. Federal investigations began to earnest. As the new year of 1976 arrived, associates said McCown became concerned not only for the federal probe, but because he was going to have to tell so many their jobs were likely to end. Friends noticed that he began to drink heavily. On the Friday night of January 30th, 1976, he and his 3 friends were said to be drinking at his bar, the Academy Lounge, and decided to go for a plane ride in a single-engine Cessna. McAllen was not a licensed pilot, but did have an expired student pilot permit. The 4 took off, and within minutes the plane with McCown as pilot abruptly crashed into a Hancock County thicket. McCown and 2 passengers were dead. A 4th man survived and said he did not remember much, except McCown was flying and everything seemed okay. McAllen, February 4th, 1976, funeral in Sparta attracted many in Georgia's civil rights leadership. Ralph David Abelthorny, the Rev. Martin Luther King Jr.'s top lieutenant, was there. So was Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson. When John McCown died in 1976's plane crash, some suggested foul play. And you could really blame them. McCown, a black political activist and business entrepreneur, had dramatically transformed East Central Georgia's Hancock County, about an hour west of Augusta, since his arrival a decade before, and he had definitely earned his enemies.
If they leave me alone, I'll leave them alone. But if they bother with me, we stomping the hell out of them. It's just that simple. I don't care what anybody thinks about it. I wouldn't go 2 steps to bother one of them. But if one of them bothers me, I won't let him get 2 steps. It's just that simple.
A few years ago, whites and blacks in Hancock County came very close to starting a race war. They managed to keep things under control then. There was no violence. But racial tension is building again here, and this time it may get out of control.
I think that after 7 or 8 years of trying to work with the white community, it's proven that there's just no hope here. The white community refuses to work to help itself. They allow themselves to be controlled by a mayor who beats them into place when they get out of place, and getting out of place is any type of conversation on racial harmony. He believed that God put blacks and whites to be separate, and that if any whites tried to bring them together, that they are niggas and ought to be dealt with that way.
I don't think we're near a racial war. Now, there have been some threats made, and I understand that John McCawn said that if it came to a showdown, that we couldn't go his way, that there would be a shootout.
Are you prepared for that?
Yes, sir. We're prepared.
It isn't easy for a white outsider to accurately gauge just how much support McCown has in the black community here, but in the short run, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that this town is so emotionally charged that it's ready to explode into violence. And unless the situation is diffused, this town will explode. Robert Cohen, WSB News, Sparta, Georgia.
He brought political confrontation and upheaval, energizing the black electorate, the county's majority population. He became Hancock's first black elected county commissioner. Along the way, he also faced business sabotage, arrests, and an attempted intervention by Governor Jimmy Carter. He survived them, but not the plane crash. And years later, almost 50 years later to be exact, I arrived on the doorstep of John McCown's house. And not only would I be exploring the interior of this house today, I would also be visiting his grave. So buckle up, sit back, relax, and enjoy an abandoned exploration with a bit of history in it as well. What's up? This is Dakota. I'm currently in Sparta, Georgia right now. Some of you guys may know of this place. I promise you it isn't that Roman/Greek. Is it Roman? Is it Greek? I think it's Roman. Is it Roman? I think it's Roman. That Roman place from God knows how long ago. This is a small town located kind of above, like northeast of where Macon is in Macon, Georgia. I have about a 20-minute drive until I reach my destination, which, if you saw the beginning of this video, we're going to John McCown's house. I'm sure you guys watched the beginning of this video, so I don't have to go really to the history of this place, but I'm pretty sure this place is like ultra abandoned and his grave is out back. So if you guys are, you know, just not finding this channel, or if you guys already know the channel for a while now, consider hitting the like button if you really do, you know, like the video you're seeing here. And without further ado, let's get going. All right, so now we're at Mayfield. More specifically, we are at the Mayfield Mini Mart. All this place is abandoned. Like, let me actually show you some of what we're working with. Insane. Like, I've passed so many places that have just been abandoned. Like, that place over there is abandoned. This place right here is abandoned. What's really crazy is all these places are abandoned. Here, there, way over there. 2 houses that way. You can actually see John's house right back there. It's hard to focus right now, but it's right back there. Yeah, such a strange environment. I've passed like so many abandoned buildings between here and there. Just insane, insane, crazy how so much of this place is just left abandoned. But now I guess as good as time as any to go in, so I can just get into the tree line. It's a lot better than nothing. It's weird. There's actually another abandoned house right over there too. This is John's house right here. Let's go inside. I'm assuming this is where a sign used to be. But this place is huge. This place is absolutely massive. Like 2 stories, I believe. You gotta make your way in there. You almost have to crawl in there. Okay. Now let's check this place out. So this back area right here, the porch stretches around at least half or 3/4 of the whole house, which is insane. But you can see like some of the stuff is starting to just fall through. This place is gorgeous. Like, it's amazing how they just leave places like this to be abandoned. It's actually just insane. I see they finally blocked it off. Assuming an urban explorer has found their way inside somehow. Which is right here of all places. Let me switch over to my GoPro so I can get better lighting, but this place is falling apart. The water damage is massive here. Check out this room. So what's really crazy, you can see all these like, look at the old architecture and designs for this place. Old gorgeous wooden doors right here. Insane. It's always scary in places like this. I don't even know where to start. I have no idea where to start. I'm going to use my flashlight battery or my flashlight on my phone. Look at the old embroideries on this. That's crazy. But then you got these tall windows that go from like like up to down, you know? Like they're massive. They're absolutely massive. Every month of 1999. So I know people at least were staying here up into the early 2000s. But the roof in this place, and most importantly, half of the house is already caving in, which is wild, super wild. Just heard something. Pros and cons of exploring abandoned buildings alone. Pro is that you get some amazing shots. Con is that when you hear shit, it freaks you the hell out. Hello? Look at this place, dude. Where does that go? Where does that go? I've never seen something like that before. But look at this beautiful staircase right here. Guess the best thing to do now is just walk up it. What the fuck was that? Hello? Fuck. Christ almighty, dude. Scaring the hell out of me all the time. Every time. All the time. Every single time. Fuck, dude. You're talking about freaking me out. I'm definitely not going there. Obviously not going in here. But It's just so old. It's like, this is probably one of the oldest houses I've ever explored here on the channel, I think, at least. But we're gonna try to go across this area right here. I trust the beams, but I don't trust the nails. Same thing on this side right here. Old fireplace. I'm guessing that's where the heat came in, from the top, from the bottom. Look how beautiful this place is. The cars are always freaking me out. The cars are absolutely always freaking me out. But you can see where the place is falling apart. Yes, like the bottom floor right there. Not stepping anywhere into this, but definitely freaky. Definitely freaky. I could go that way, and I think it's stable enough, but when I get up in there, I can't. It's just such a beautiful place. So that's pretty much all of the upstairs area up in here. Still a stunning location. Now we're gonna make our way back down, but I'm assuming this is more of the other side of the house. But I'm pretty sure his grave is out that way, so we're gonna find that next before we leave. But really wondering, like, I know his grave is somewhere that way. I'm pretty sure, at least. This is the old porch. There's a walkway there that can take me down and around, but I kind of gotta watch my step. Well, there's a place I can get through right there. Pretty sure his grave's somewhere this way. I just gotta find it. I just saw a deer. This old shed back there. This place is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I need to get the fuck out of here. There's something about exploring alone that just creeps me out so much. So much. Here's an old shed. A very old shed right here. Insane. I still can't believe they leave places like this to just rot. But yeah, that's pretty much the old McCown house. That's insane. That's crazy. Alright, let's get back to the car because I probably need to get back to the car. It's insane to find places like this and then nobody's even bothered to mess with them or anything. They're just left here, and it's kind of crazy. But also, like I said earlier, in Sparta and Mayfield, I've seen at least 10 or 20, maybe even 30 abandoned buildings, schools, houses. But this is also the deep south. A lot of that happens. Like sometimes, like, they just migrate and they just leave everything behind, or somebody finally passes away and they don't know what to do with the property, so they just leave it. Overall though, pretty crazy explore. Not really that long of a video, but I appreciate you guys sticking around this far. If you have any suggestions on places to go in Georgia or the surrounding areas, or even far out, because I am eventually doing the whole US. If you guys do have any suggestions or thoughts, comments, or if you feel like leaving a like, please do so. It really helps the channel grow and really just shows me that you guys like the content I'm putting out. So thank you for watching. Next abandoned exploration, I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna go, but I can say that there is more great things to come. So stick around.
You do or you don't. It's with this. In other words, you cannot escape the problem. You cannot deal with the symptoms. You got to deal with the cause.